Hello and welcome. My name is Brejé Williams, and I am here to bring you the Bay State Banner Week in Review. Now, let's get started with Governor Healey's first State of the Commonwealth Address. Governor Maura Healey outlined ambitious plans for transportation, housing, education, and healthcare reform, calling for bold action to address the state's most pressing challenges. On housing, Healey proposed eliminating renter-paid broker fees and pledged to expand affordable housing through the $5 billion Affordable Homes Act. She declared, if we want families to stay and grow here, we need more homes, and we're going to build them. She also tackled education, announcing a statewide council to develop new graduation standards after the MCAS requirement was repealed. She emphasized the need for higher standards to ensure every student is ready for success. Transportation remains a massive priority, with $8 billion earmarked for improved roads, bridges, and the MBTA over the next decade, which we'll touch on a little bit more later. On healthcare, Healey promised to expand access to primary care, behavioral health services in schools, and support for veterans. She vowed to address workforce shortages to ensure timely and affordable care for all residents. Healey also addressed the state's shelter crisis, advocating for federal immigration reform while emphasizing the need to prioritize Massachusetts families and reduce the strain on emergency shelters. Closing her speech, Healey reaffirmed her commitment to collaboration, saying, "We'll take every opportunity to work with the federal government, but we will not change who we are." Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into the boost in transportation Governor Healey was speaking about. Governor Healey is rolling out an $8 billion 10-year plan to overhaul transportation in Massachusetts. Announced at Worcester's Union Station, the plan aims to stabilize and improve roads, bridges, and transit systems without raising taxes. Instead, it leverages existing funds, including revenue from the Fair Share Amendment, a 4% surtax on income over $1 million. The MBTA, facing an $800 million funding gap next year, stands to benefit from this plan, which promises more reliable services and avoids potential cuts. Plus, federal funding adds another layer of support. Over $102 million in grants will go toward projects like redesigning Blue Hill Avenue and Mattapan to prioritize pedestrians and bike safety, adding the lanes of buses and improving connectivity. Not everyone is on board with every aspect. Critics worry about increased congestion due to fewer car lanes, but supporters argue that the changes will reduce bus travel times for 37,000 people that are riding daily. Beyond Mattapan, funds are earmarked for improvements at JFK UMass Station and Dorchester, multi-use paths in Revere, and more. Community advocates like Vivian Ortiz stress the importance of amplifying the voices of pedestrians and cyclists, ensuring that all transportation users have a say in a way. For Ortiz, any funding that improves safety and accessibility is a win. This comprehensive plan is more than just about transportation. It's about creating a vision for a safer, more connected Massachusetts. Okay, now, let's get into honoring MLK's legacy at Boston's Memorial Breakfast. In the wake of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, two Boston pastors created a Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Breakfast in 1970. Over 5 decades later, the event continues as a powerful tribute, bringing nearly 1,500 people together this year at the Omni Hotel in Seaport. A highlight of the breakfast was keynote speaker Angela Davis, an icon of the Black liberation and feminist movements. Davis reflected on the struggle to establish MLK Day as a national holiday, reminding the audience that freedom isn't free. She called the holiday not just a celebration, but a call to action, urging renewed commitments to fight racism, militarism, and capitalism. Co-chair James Dilday echoed the theme, emphasizing that King's nonviolent approach strengthened the movement. "If we want freedom, we have to fight for it. Nothing's given," Dilday said. Davis also reflected on King's legacy as representing a collective movement, especially recognizing the contributions of women. She encouraged the audience, saying, "We are strong and we're on the right side of history." Treasurer Rudell Fenty, a longtime host committee member, shared her joy in keeping King's memory alive and seeing the breakfast grow from humble beginnings in a church basement to a large-scale event. The Boston-based tradition remains not just a commemoration, but a reminder of the work still needed to achieve King's vision. Another memorable moment from this honorable breakfast was a Massachusetts representative named Ayanna Pressley, where she drew sharp contrast between Dr. King's vision and the policies of President Donald Trump, who was inaugurated for a second term the same day. Pressley called the timing of the events a painful contradiction and described Trump as opposing everything King stood for. Pressley hosted a Day of the Beloved Community in Roxbury, bringing together organizations like Planned Parenthood and MIRA, an immigrant advocacy group to equip residents with resources to face anticipated challenges under Trump's administration. Pressley emphasized the power of organizing, calling it our most powerful weapon, as communities brace for potential policy impacts from Trump's administration. Speakers at the event shared efforts to protect vulnerable groups. Planned Parenthood launched an abortion right hotline and expanded services, while MIRA focused on Know Your Rights training and legislative advocacy to protect immigrants. According to MIRA, immigrants with legal representation are 10 times more likely to succeed in their cases. Local attendees echoed Pressley's call to action. Fatima Al-Salam, a software engineer from Mattapan, stressed the need for active engagement, saying, "Democracy is living. It can never be untended." Other Massachusetts leaders, including Senator Edward Markey and Representative Bill Keating, also boycotted Trump's inauguration.
Restaurants are celebrations, they're hubs. It's about coming together, nourishing ourselves, our bodies, and our relationships with each other. We don't exist without the people that walk in our doors every day. We feed each other.
Boston never gets old.
The Boston restaurant scene right now is as exciting as it has ever been. There's spicy, dynamic, diverse food here. It's time for people to take a second look at Boston.
Boston never gets old.
Yeah!
Now, in other news, the Boston mayoral election is heating up with the entrance into the race by Josh Kraft, son of the Patriots owner, Robert Kraft. Different from his father and brother, who worked primarily with the sports franchise, Josh has spent the past 3 decades working in the greater Boston community. Josh spent 30 years with the Boys and Girls Club of Boston and is currently the chairman of the board of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Josh also leads his family's philanthropic efforts as president of the New England Patriots Foundation. Josh grew up in greater Boston and is a William College and Harvard graduate, School of Education graduate, and he also serves the board of Brandeis University and Brigham and Women's Hospital. A spokesperson for Josh Kraft declined to comment, but sources told us an official announcement could be expected in as early as February. Now, let's get into some sports. The NFL playoffs are down to the Final Four combatants who are vying for a spot for Super Bowl 59 to be played at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. The Kansas City Chiefs, the #1 seed in the AFC, are looking to make history by winning 3 consecutive Lombardi trophies on February 9th. However, they must get past a very tough Buffalo Bills team, who's out for revenge. The Bills are 0-3 against the Chiefs in their last 3 playoff matchups. Division rivals, the 2nd-seeded Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, the 6th seed, are set to meet for the 3rd time this season. Each team has won once, and the Commanders are poised to be the first team to be led by a rookie quarterback. Former Heisman winner Jaden Daniels engineered the upset of the top-seeded Detroit Lions in Detroit. Eagles may struggle in the contest due to the hard hit taken by their franchise quarterback Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' win against the Los Angeles Rams. Philly is looking for their 2nd trip to the Super Bowl in the last 3 years. Now, in College National Football Championship, we have some other news. And that was decided this week in Atlanta when the Ohio State Buckeyes defeated the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 34-23. QB Riley Leonard of the Irish scored the game's first points, but OSU came back to score 3 times to take a 21-7 halftime lead. Notre Dame cut the deficit 31-15, then had 2 fourth-quarter drives that made the game very interesting. The first ended with a missed field goal ricocheting off the goalpost. The second produced a 30-yard touchdown catch by the wideout Jaden Greathouse. A late field goal by the Buckeyes produced the final score. Ohio State QB Will Howard was the game's offensive most valuable player. This is the 9th national championship for OSU.
The Boston food scene is on fire. There's spicy, dynamic, diverse food here. It's a surprise to visitors that come here. They expect clam chowder and lobster rolls. Yes, we have that, but there's so much more. It's almost unpredictable. Once you're here, you'll see. Things heat up in a hurry. It's like, where's Boston gonna go next?
Boston never gets old.
Yeah!
Now let's get into the restoration of the Neponset River. Once a hub of industrial activity, the lower Neponset River now bears the scars of its past. Declared a Superfund site in 2022 due to toxic PCB contamination, the river is undergoing critical cleanup efforts to address the decades of pollution. These man-made chemicals, banned in 1979, are linked to serious health concerns, including cancer, and remain a stark reminder of environmental costs of industrialization. The Environmental Protection Agency is removing contaminated soil from the sites like Riverside Square and Hyde Park, aiming to restore the river's health. While this work is essential, community advocates stress the importance of balancing environmental remediation with accessibility for neighboring communities like Mattapan and Dorchester. This section of the river has been hard to access for decades, said Andres Ripley of the Neponset River Watershed Association. Once it's cleaned, it has the potential to become a beautiful amenity that residents can enjoy without traveling so far. The river cleanup offers an opportunity to confront environmental inequities. Communities of color often lack access to green spaces, and advocates like Marilyn Smith see this as a chance to right that wrong. She asked, who shouldn't have access to nature? But challenges remain. Steep industrial-era banks and the EPA's planned capping methods could complicate future projects, such as creating walking trails or parks. Advocates are pushing for solutions that not only clean the river, but ensure it can be used sustainably and equitably. The effort is about more than just cleaning a river. It's about environmental justice, community health, and providing a lasting natural resource for future generations. As Smith Coracle put it, the Neponset River has the potential to be a gift if we can get it right. And that's the news for the Bay State Banner Week in Review. My name is Brejé Williams. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week.